Our exhortation this morning comes from Proverbs 22, verses 24 through 25. Make no friendship with a man given to anger, nor go with a wrathful man, lest you learn his ways and entangle yourself in a snare. What are the ways of an angry man? Well, two types immediately come to my mind. One type is the reactionary, someone who flies off the handle at a moment's notice. Someone cuts them off in traffic, or someone challenges them in some way. And then the other way is calculated. It's the man who has been offended in some way and seeks revenge. In both instances, it characterizes a person who is controlled by their passions rather than practicing self-control. Now, in the context of Proverbs, where a young man is being instructed on how to rule with wisdom, anger is called a snare. Now, the reason a snare is an effective trap is that when an animal gets caught in one, its typical reaction is to fight or to run, causing the snare to wrap tighter around its leg. And in this way, anger is indeed a trap. A king who has no self-control, who is given to harsh reactions or revengeful schemes, is a king who will lose his kingdom. His anger will cloud his judgment, preventing him from making wise choices. Choices that can only come through patience, thoughtfulness, and self-control. Now, if an animal had the wherewithal to stop at the moment that it stepped into a snare and then slowly back out of it, it would be safe. And likewise, if a king is not reactionary or vengeful, but rules with self-control and patience, his kingdom will not be lost. And so maybe you can see how this would play out in a home. When parents react to each other or to their children with anger, they are ensnared in a trap. Anger blinds us to the thing that needs to be done in the moment of conflict. Patience, understanding, and reconciliation are needed at that moment. And the same is true of vengeance. Often when a spouse or a sibling or even a parent has been offended, there is a desire for comeuppance, to seek some sort of self-designated justice, to see the offending party get what they deserve. And again, the anger that drives that desire makes us blind to what is needed in the moment, which is selflessness, humility, and forgiveness. And every time that we respond in anger to one another, the snare tightens a little bit more, and it becomes harder to capture the hearts of our spouses and children. And it becomes harder to guide their souls to Christ. You have heard many times before here, but it doesn't matter how good your theology is or how tight a ship you run in your home. If it is not done with love, patience, and joy, it doesn't matter. You will lose your kingdom. We are called to be Christ to one another, especially in our homes. And our Lord is gracious and merciful. He is slow to anger, and He is abounding in steadfast love.